Hi, I'm Paul from the Studio Rats. In this video, I want to see if a Boss Katana Mark 1 and a Boss Nextone can compete against a Mesa Boogie rectifier. Now, a Mesa Boogie rectifier starts from about £2,000. You can get them a lot cheaper now, second hand on eBay, but it's still a really high quality valve amp. Now, what I've done, I've plugged that rectifier into a Universal Audio aux box. So together, the whole rig is probably going to cost about £4,000, something like that, if you bought it all new. Now, the Katana Mark 1, you can't even get anymore, so I think I bought mine second hand for about £200. And the Boss Nextone, I think it's about £400, something like that. Now, on paper, these two Boss amps shouldn't really be able to compete with an expensive high gain valve amplifier, especially the Nextone, because the Nextone is definitely not a high gain amp. But with the latest update for the Nextone, it's got some tricks up its sleeve where you can load some drive circuits into it to really boost up the front end. Now, I personally think the Nextone is a really great sounding amplifier, and the Boss Katana, you know, it's probably the biggest selling amp of all time, so that can hold its own. So let's get underway and let's see if these two Boss amplifiers can compete against the Mesa Boogie rectifier. So here's the sound of the rectifier. Now, one of the reasons why I really love a rectifier is the clarity it has over all the notes. You can basically play full chords and you still get clarity from all the strings. Now, the rectifier's got a bit of a bad reputation because it was such a popular amp in the 90s and so many bands used it that it's now become a little bit out of fashion, but it's still a really great sounding amplifier. But can the Nextone and the Katana compete with it? Well, let's record the rectifier part, and then after that we'll record the Katana and the Nextone part. Okay, let's record a duplicate part, but I'm going to pan these opposite directions. So now we've recorded the benchmark, that was the Mesa Boogie rectifier. So now let's pull out the Boss Nextone and see how that sounds. Okay, so here's the setting with the controls on the amp. What we're going to do is to go into the Nextone editor here. So now let's turn on the boost. Now all we're going to be doing is just turning up the gain up to 21 and the booster level is on 40. So that's going to sound like this. So let's go for a take using the Nextone. So the first take is going to be panned to the left, and now let's record take 2, which is going to be panned to the right. Now we're finished with the next tone recording, what I'm going to do is to take the speaker lead out the back of the next tone and plug it into Katana Mark 1. So let's do that. And now let's change the sounds on the Katana using the Tone Studio app. So here's the preset pack that I created for the Boss Katana Mark 1. If you want to have a look at that preset, the video will be above me right now. So what we're going to do here, I think we're going to take down the gain a little bit because it's a bit too much. So what I think I'll do is I'll change it to the lead setting. Still a little bit too much. Let's turn the booster off. I'm going to bring back the delay now and the reverb. Now I do like to record with effects sometimes as well, just adds a little bit of space around the guitar sound. So that's a sort of similar sound to what we've got with the rectifier and the next tone. So let's record the part. Now let's record take 2 of the Katana, and again this is going to be panned over to the right. Now I'm blown away with how the next tone and the Katana sounded and competed against the rectifier. The next tone for me, I didn't think it was going to be able to handle that amount of clarity with a high gain sort of sound. I think it cut through. For me, it's probably my favourite sound. I would use that over the other recordings. The Katana sounded great. Almost a little bit more mid-focused, but that could just be an EQ thing. I think the rectifier sounded great, but my preference for that recording would be the next tone. I really hope you guys got something out of that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you'll be notified of any future videos that come out from the Studio Rats. I'm Paul from the Studio Rats, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.